So what's up guys, today we're going to be reading my fan fiction called Spider-Man Yearbook. So let's get started. The door opens. An old fragile lady walks into a kid's bedroom. She wakes her nephew Peter B. Parker up. Peter B. Parker wakes up. She tells him to look at his clock. 7:46. The young man gets out of bed faster than a rabbit. Then, then the rabbit. Opening his closet, grabbing his flannel and pants, he grabs his glasses and storms out of the room. He slides down the stairs to his Uncle Ben eating prunes. Peter eats breakfast. Peter drinks the milk from the cereal bowl and runs out to the car. Ben walks slowly. Then he gets there and drops Peter off at school. Flash Thompson noogies Peter and pushes him into the ground, and him and his friends laugh at Peter. Peter gets up and picks up all his stuff and goes to class. They announce they will go on a field trip. Then they go on the bus. Peter sits next to his best friend Harry Osborn as Gwen Stacy wants to sit with him. They get there, it's all fun and stuff. Two men walk on stage with their presentation. Doc Ock and Kurt Connors. They talk about the thing for a while, until they ask for a volunteer. Peter goes up stage. They have a spider with radiation. They get ready to place it on Peter's hand, and then it bites Peter. It bites Peter. Peter swings his hand around on stage. Flash and his crew thinks it's a joke until Peter faints onto the ground. Harry runs to him and shakes him over and over again. Peter's gone. Peter wakes up in his bedroom. Aunt May tells Peter that they have to get the sleep Peter. That's why she doesn't want Peter to go to places like that. Aunt May leaves Peter. Peter gets a feeling in his body. He shoots a web from his wrist. He shoots another one uncontrollably. But he thinks it's confidence that makes it work. And shoots another one at his glasses. It works! The webs are a grappler hook. Uncle Ben says they need to get a medicine for Peter. They hop in the car and they get there. Peter looks around. Ben says he's gonna go. He is getting money from the car. Peter waits. Why is Ben gone for so long? Peter gets anxious and worries. Peter runs out to see Ben on the ground, hurt. Ben tells Peter a man went to rob him, but Ben told him he didn't have any money. Then the robber shot Ben. Ben's final words were, "With great power must also come great responsibility." Ben dies in Peter's arms. Peter goes into the store and says his uncle needs help. He's on the verge of death. The employee runs out. Ben died without Peter knowing. Peter swears on Ben's grave he will avenge it. Peter goes home since he has these spider-like powers. He is Spider-Man. Peter makes a suit made of hoodie, mask, goggles. He's ready. Peter gets ready to jump out the window, but a girl named Mary Jane Watson sees him and tries to be a secret. Peter made these things called web shooters. Over at Kurt Connor's house, he uses his new antidote to heal his arm, but when he tries, his arm turns scaly, and then his missing arm turns into a reptile-like look. His body turns scaly, a lizard, like a lizard. Peter webs around Manhattan to test his newfound power, swinging from point to point. He gets to the place he needs. to be, the wrestling arena, in his new suit. He can win the money he needs to pay the bills. Peter enters the place and enters. The announcer says you will face against Crusher Hogan. Peter isn't prepared for the world of pain he's about to go through. Peter enters the ring. Crusher Hogan charges at Peter. Peter hops over him. Peter tries to put him in a headlock, but Hogan throws him. Peter hits the ring. Peter comes and kicks Hogan. Peter shakes him until Hogan is knocked out. Peter lets go of Hogan. Peter feels like he has blood on his hands. But he forgets that he is ready to be the ultimate Spider-Man. He feels a sense that the robber is here. Peter rushes to a warehouse, and it's true. He's there. Peter watches over him like prey, waiting to strike. Peter leaps onto the ground. The robber hears, but thinks it's in his imagination. But Peter is able to distract him by knocking over a box and runs toward the robber and kicks him in the face. Peter grabs the robber. The robber pulls a weapon, but Peter grabs it and breaks it by hitting the robber. Peter throws the robber into the boxes. They all shatter. Peter walks over and grabs him and keeps hitting him and kicking him, and then kicks him. Back into the boxes, the robber sees a weapon, but Peter webs it and snaps it with his legs. Peter walks them. He gets the final blow by risking the robber's life and holds him and lets go of him. The robber falls onto a police car. Peter leaps off. Later, Peter watches the news, and the robber died because he hit the car. His neck snapped. Peter feels sorrow, but he believes in himself, so he tells Aunt May he's going to Osborn's house. He runs into his room and looks at his almost finalized mask, but grabs his mask and suit, grabs web shooters and ties his shoes and leaps out the window, swinging from point to point. Curt Connors walks through his office stumbling as his body turns scaly. He looks into the mirror as his face turns into a lizard's. His hands are now claws. He screeches into the mirror as his skin you guys know about the things around your mouth on the side, it slowly rips. It rips on his mouth. The lizard walks around Oscorp. People run, but he catches one and eats his head. Peter listens to the news and hears about it. He swings there, breaking the glass. Peter lands. The lizard finishes eating another person. Peter runs at him. Lizard swings his arms, and Peter hits the desks. Peter gets coffee all over, but he kicks Lizard in the face. Norman and Harry walk down the stairs. They think he's a hero. Peter keeps hitting Lizard until Lizard bites Peter's arm, but gets his arm out and hits him. Peter gets thrown across the room. Oscorp guards come in and shoot Lizard with tranquilizer darts in it. Doesn't work because the lizard grabs one of the guards and chokes it and eats his head. Peter doesn't know what to do, so he gets up with a mug of coffee and drinks it. Peter finishes and charges at Lizard, punching him in the face. Punching Lizard. Lizard rams into them. They fall into the elevator. Peter smacks Lizard. Lizard punches Peter a lot. Lizard punches Peter down to the first floor. Police wait as they see Peter hit the ground. Peter struggles to get up. The police drag him, and the lizard hits the ground, and rubble flies everywhere. Peter jumps back up. He tells them to go. Peter makes web gauntlets to smack Lizard. Peter runs and hits Lizard. Lizard grabs Peter and throws him. Rubble falls onto Peter. It covers him. He says to himself, "Do it for Ben. Do it for everyone else. Do it for Harry. Do it for Norman." And lifts it and throws it at Lizard. Lizard attacks Peter, hitting him over and over again. Peter keeps getting back up. Peter takes off his mask and charges at Lizard, kicking it, hitting him. Peter webs a pole and hits Lizard, but Lizard chokes Peter and throws him to the top of the building. Peter hits the ground. He gets up. Lizard jumps up and grabs Peter and smashes him into the ground. Peter webs Lizard's eyes and hits the ground and gets up. He grabs the pole and hits Lizard over and over again. Lizard takes the web off and scratches Peter's suit and kicks him off the building. Peter shoots a web and lands in the 5th floor. Peter hits desks. Lizard jumps and breaks the floor panels and lands on the 5th floor. Peter takes a mug and hits Lizard with it. Lizard rams into Peter hitting a wall. Peter hits Lizard over and over again, but they fall, and Peter beats Lizard and they hit an explosive container, blowing them up. Peter goes flying. Lizard gets up with minor injuries. Peter puts his mask on and runs towards the Lizard, punching him, kicking it, and headbutting. Peter gets thrown at a wall. Peter webs a stop sign and throws it at Lizard. Peter jumps on Lizard while Lizard is on the ground. Peter punches Lizard over and over again. Lizard slips out of Lizard slips out of Peter's reach. Peter tries to catch him, but finds him standing on top of a building with Gwen Stacy. Peter tells her it's going to be okay. He web runs up there. Lizard lets go of Gwen. Peter jumps down to save her. He succeeds and puts her. She tells Peter that she likes him. Peter tells her that he likes her too, and puts her on a safe area. Peter swings to Lizard, kicks him in the face, and lands on her, and punches him a lot. Lizard dies. Peter gets off and looks at his hands. As he sees blood, his heart beats. And he jumps off the building, swinging to his house. Peter lands in his room, taking his costume off and running downstairs to see Aunt May, reading a newspaper from the Daily Bugle about the new superhero, Spider-Man. Peter grabs his loaf of bread and runs out to go to school, but turns out school doesn't start until 7:40. It's 6:10. Peter runs back in and makes a new suit, new gloves, new mask, new lenses, new emblem. Peter stands on top of a building, the 2.0. He sees an old lady being robbed. Peter jumps down. The robber pulls the weapon out. Peter webs it out, and Peter fights crime until school, and he hides behind a building and puts on his clothes. Peter walks into school, and he sees Gwen. He holds flowers, and he waves back. She sees him. She runs to him. He tells her that he has the these flowers for her.
What? Cameron, I'm not.
They see Harry and they
That's so crazy, bro.
talk. Gwen and Peter are the only ones that know Peter is Spider-Man.
Cameron?
Even a amazing Spider-Man.
Where did you get Squirrel, bro?
The end of school. Peter picks up Gwen and they swing around New York. Peter drops Gwen home and drops off Gwen at home. And Peter in his spider suit swings and poses and shoots a web. End credits. A man watches the news. Wilson Fisk. Wilson Fisk watches the news and says, this new Spider-Man is kind of destroying the whole point of the underground.
Can I be your lunch lady?
I already have a task force team that they can get to him. The name are the Enforcers. Send them to the Spider-Man. Won't be able to stand a chance. We already know who he is. His old friend Felicia might be able something to hold him back. Thank you guys so much, and I have to tease the sequel. It's gonna be called Spider-Man Prestige. And before that, I might make another fan film. It's not a fan film, I don't crap no. But I just want to tell you guys how much I crap and appreciate you guys so much.